I'm Bob Zahn, and I am a portrait photographer. I also do documentaries and
Everyone, if everyone could mute, their mics at this moment. Thank you. Not you, Bob. Go, Bob.
so by a portrait photographer, I mean I take pictures of people. And I went to film school and learned that in feature films, the close-up is the most important photograph in the film because it's so revealing of the story. So I learned to take portraits, and I've been taking photographs since I was 17 years old. My first camera was a Nikon F, and I've always stayed with Nikon because of their glass. I can't speak enough about the quality or the importance of glass for a camera. A camera, it has a sensor or film, but the light and the quality of the image is transmitted through the lens. And I use prime lenses only. Prime because they're the sharpest and they're the fastest. And they have a fixed field of view. And I just work handheld. So I move to wherever I want to take a photograph. And my light kit is in my back pocket. It's called Mother Nature and the sun. So I'm mobile. I have a good eye, thankfully, and I trust myself. So that's a little bit about me and photography. And this is a photograph of my father when he graduated from high school. And this is how it all began. Our home 8mm movie camera. My father was the photographer in the family, and the family used to get together to view these pictures, and everybody would laugh, and there was so much joy, and there was what I call cackling, that it just was so rich with emotion. It just stuck with me forever. So I got into film. This is the first camera I used, and I started as my father's projectionist, and the rest is history. But 7 years old, I had a camera in my hands. 18 years old, I had a still camera in my hand. So this is my story. In 1989, I'd been taking photographs with my Nikon. I said, well, I want to up my game. So I bought a medium film camera, the Mamiya RZ67, with a portrait lens, 150mm. And I just wanted to make better pictures than 35mm with a lens shoot.
Ansel from John. The way to art is through craft, not.
So this was the first photograph I took in the Southwest, one of the first with my Mamiya. I saw these people in a roadside stand. My eyes bulged. Look at their faces. They were in the booth next to mine, and when they left, I ran after them. Because when I run after people, that means I'm really interested in taking their photographs. I asked them if I could take their portraits. We stepped outside. I brought my camera out. Now, I posed them. And this is the resulting photograph. One picture says 1,000 words. I saw that and I said, And then I realized one photograph does not an artist make. So I had to do a portfolio, a collection. So this is 1989. I'm working, I have my own company and very involved, very busy, but photography is like my art. And I am an artist and have been since I was a child. So I got this camera, I took this photograph, said, If you notice, this is my style of photography at its best. Minimum optical distance, wide f-stop, shallow depth of field. And when I'm really working, a long exposure. Look at the toothpick in his mouth. He's twirling in his mouth. To get motion in a still photograph is, what can I say? It's a joy. So this to me just spoke so much, and I called it American Gothic. Why? This is American Gothic by Grant Wood. And it sang to me, my photograph sang to me of this photo, this beautiful painting done in 1931 on a beaver board by Grant Wood. This has been influenced. So again, one image does not an artist make. So in 2007, I saw Sean Penn's film Into the Wild. On the big screen, several scenes he went into Slab City. I saw the faces there, I saw the background, and I said, I've got to go there. I'm really thankful to Sean Penn because he's the one who led me, who directed me to Slab City. And it was because of the people and the images I saw on the screen that I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to do something different. I want to take portraits of people. I didn't want to do birthday pictures. That's not me. I wanted to do a story. I didn't know what I was getting into. I moved lock, stock, and barrel to Calipatri, which is 8 miles away from Slab City. And I started going there every day. I'm walking in with my Mamiya light meter. These people are, very wary of outsiders, but they saw that I was serious about my photography. And what I brought with me was a Canon portable color printer. So I could make a color print 4x6" of every photograph I took, or the best photograph I took of everybody. Take the photograph, whether it was a film and it took like 2 months to get it processed, or a digital film, which I could do the next day and process in Photoshop. But then I would make a print for them. They would start to see my images and they opened up to me. So much so that I became an honorary slabber, which is a privilege. And my slabber name is Photo Bob, Fotobob. A slabber name is something you're dubbed. You don't give it to yourself. People give it to you.
Linda?
So
Take the microphone.
welcome to Slab City. I'm going to let the pictures do the talking. A lot of the images are portraits. And, after I started taking the photographs, I said, there's more to it here. There's a story. And I'm a visual storyteller. And what I did is I went back to every person I met and asked them what they thought of Slab City. At the same time, I got a written release from them. So they're telling the story of Slab City. I'm taking the photographs. So here we go. This is the cover photograph of my book. That is Z. She was adorned like this one night, 2 minutes. I took her to a spot. What I do is I ask a person to follow my hand with their face and their eyes, left to right, so I can pick out the best view of that person. And when I find it, I say, hold it. At the same time, I'm putting them in a place where they're lit. Lighting is key. And when you're working with sunlight, well, there's only so much you can work with. Here, it was towards the end of the day, the cut of light on her cheek, three-dimensionality, and the image, the lighting on her face, the image, that became the cover photo for my book because it jumped off the page. But listen to her quote: slab city, slab, loneliness, atonement, beauty, cups, insanity, tequila, and youthfulness again. That pretty much sums up Slab City. One picture, her words. This was the first photograph I took in Slab City with my Nikon. I met Cuervo, who was by the side of the road, and again, my eyes bulged. This was a character that expressed the essence of Slab City and a personality that is so strong that I took this photograph. I posed him and I took this photograph. I saw it on the EVF viewfinder and I said, wow, I'm home. His quote is, I got to get back to nature. Civilization has gotten us nowhere. So that's Cuervo and his mule rock and roll. Blackie's in the background, but I knew I had found my location. I'm thankful so much to Sean Penn. I'm still in communication with him. This is, I met the people of Slab City as I got to know the place. This is Preacher Dave. Preacher Dave is no longer with us. There are 4 people in the book who passed away. Preacher Dave of cancer. This is a photograph, a portrait I took of him, and it spoke to me. His quote is, I was called to Slab City by God. This is Cornelius Van Gogh. That's in the background, her van, which is where she lives. She lives in a van, and she's by the tanks, and behind her is the tank, and that's her living room in the background. Look at her. Look at her pose. This has been snapped up by BuzzFeed News as the picture to lead off their story, which is online. Her quote is, been living in vans so long, looking for a place to be without getting into trouble. Haven't found any place cooler than Slab City. This woman is badass, and you have to be that way out there. You're on your own. A lot of guys, you have to defend yourself. So some people do it by their aura, their being. This was the essence to me of Cornelius Van Gogh. Builder Bill of the Range. Builder Bill is a longtime slabber, been there over 20 years. He was living in vans in San Diego. The police were harassing him, giving him tickets. And between paying for tickets, going to court, he said, I've had enough of this. He heard about Slab City. and he went to Slab City. When he was there, he said, well, this place needs a nightclub, a place for music to be heard. So he built the Range, which is the weekly outdoor nightclub every Saturday night. Anyone is welcome to attend. Anyone can sing a set of 3 songs. Just sign up on Bill's sign sheet, and then you're on for that night. It's really incredible. But this is Builder Bill. He's one of the key people in Slab City. This is Doc Clue. Doc Clue. In the book, I have several Snapchats, what I call Snapchats, where I interview people and they talk about themselves and their background. And they tell their story with a little more in depth, and it's all in the book. But he's quite a personality. You know you're a slabber when your dog has more sex than you, is this quote. Now, this is Dreamcatcher at her kitchen in the slabs. Dreamcatcher, her quote is, Slab City is a bit like Lost America. People come here from around the world to be free. In the book, I have her close-up as well. Sometimes I'm pairing photographs with close-ups, with their individual scene in their place where they live. So here, this is Dreamcatcher. You see on her coffee, her name, and she's an incredible person. Dreamcatcher is her slabber name. This is Starshine. Starshine, this is a name that, again, is a made-up name, but it fits her so well. Here she's in the back of her van, holding one of the signs, traveling in the name of love, donations welcomed. She was an inspiration to me. I took a lot of photographs of her. I'm in touch with nearly everybody who I took photographs of. These are members of the Oasis Club. That's Doc Clue in front. He wears dresses because they're organic and they're cheap. And they are lightweight and easy to work with and when the temperatures get up to 110 degrees. These are a group of people. I asked them to smile. One picture says 1,000 words. This is Apache. Apache's on top of the Sentry Gate in Slab City. Welcome to Slab City. He's got his 8 arms raised in the air, a V sign, his axe in his hand. Welcome to Slab City.
Bob, just a quick question. Can you tell us what are the commonalities between the people that are living there? Like, what is the common thread that you felt with most of these folks?
They all have turned their back on mainstream society. They want to get away from it. It's called the beast.
The beast.
We live in the beast. They wanted to get away with that. They're off the grid. No running water. It all has to be trucked in. No wired electricity. They get the minimum of power from solar power. And for outhouses, for sewage treatment, outhouses. So it's a classic off the grid. There are no governmental city services that is delivered to them.
Okay.
And in the summertime, the temperatures get to be 120 degrees. So there are only about 150 true slabbers. What's the commonality? They're survivors. And they're there because Slab City, they can be free. They can be free to be who they are without judgment. Just think of that.
Yeah, and what's the difference between a permanent and a temporary slabber?
So you have the slabbers who, you have to be a slab, to be a slabber, you have to be there for 24 months straight, 2 summers. Then you can be called a slabber. There are seasonals, people who come back during the winter, the fall, and the spring. When the temperatures ease up, it's only 5 months because they like the lifestyle. There is no rent in Slab City. Just set yourself up wherever you are, set yourself down, and that's your place to stay. There are no laws in Slab City, except don't interfere with your neighbor's stuff, and please clean up after yourselves.
And
It
Bob,
is in
what state is it in?
California, Lower
Oh.
California.
I see.
It is still governed by United States governmental and city laws. So the police can come in at any time and enforce the law. But Slab City is a place unto itself. They keep watching it for trouble, and that's about it. So slabbers really have a lot of freedom. Amazing.
And how many people are there permanent? I mean, is it 100? Is it 200? Is it 50? Any idea?
150 approximately.
Okay.
They live in trailers. They have key places called an ice room where they just are in a cubic space, maybe 8 square feet or less, with their air conditioner and fans and ice blowing. That's how they stay cool. Water, ice, essential. If you ever go to Slab City, bring them water. They'll love you.
How do they make money and then spend it on food and clothes?
Well, what you bring into Slab City is all you've got, period.
And Bob, keep on running through photographs as you talk.
But this is the signpost. This pretty much says Slab City is often called the last free place in America. This is the speed limit in Slab City. This sign wasn't up the next week. So there's a town nearby, Nyland, and it's like 3-4 miles away. You can walk there, ride your bike, or people give you rides and lifts. There's one store there, Maze. It's a grocery store / department store. It's everything. And that's where you go for food, water, supplies, everything. This is Jazzy's, this is, sorry. This is a camp. And this is Pixie's camp. That's her trailer. She's hanging up her laundry to dry. It's blowing in the wind. And the quote for this is, "The air, the earth, the trees are all sucking the water right out of you." 3.23 inches of rain per year in this part of the world. This is Camp Clothespins. Electric dryer not required. This is Willie. He's a seasonal slabber. That's the other type of person. They come back for the seasons. The other person, they're snowbirds that come from the colder climates of North America. They come down there, plunk down in their RVs. Some of them are luxurious, and they stay there during the winter months when it's freezing cold at home. They're called snowbirds, and then you have transients that are passing through, are there for a week or so, backpacking, whatever. And then you have the touristas and day trippers who are only there for a week, and they mostly stay in their cars and take a lot of photographs, selfies. They get out of their car, don't interact, but they look at the place. And one of the people I know said, well, I really didn't want to take photographs of people because it seemed too much like a zoo. These people are real. You just have to get out and talk to them. They're incredible people.
This is beautiful picture.
This is Willie's dog, Annie. A lot of dogs in Slab City. And there's 2 doggy cemeteries.
Hmm.
Have you been back since you published the book?
I have not,
Okay.
but I'm going to. My situation has changed. This book, I'm selling it. It's a limited edition. It's artist proof only. But I've given it to certain slabbers who helped me with the book, and especially the ones who I did Snapchat for. This is Jazzy. This was a backdrop I used, common backdrop. Again, just look at her face. I want to be invisible as a photographer. I want the people to read. I want you to commune with the people. Look at their eyes. Their eyes, I asked them to look directly into the camera, because walking forward or backward, side to side, their eyes are always there to meet yours. You can do it right now. Just move your head side to side. You'll see. Again, Jazzy as herself.
Good, Bob.
This is Jazzy's camp. This is a pretty well-known photograph. It's been published and online. And again, one picture says 1,000 words. So here I'm seeing the place. I'm showing Slab City, but the person is the most important thing.
Bob, I'm guessing you did not ask their ages. Is that correct?
Next question.
Okay.
This is Cuervo. This is a portrait of Cuervo. His quote here is, "Gotta keep population adjusted to meet resources, or else we're fucked." I did a Snapchat with Cuervo. I'm still in touch with him. He lived outside of Slab City in this incredible treehouse. He didn't consider himself a slabber. He said, "I'm an outlier." What a figure. I took more pictures of Cuervo than anybody else. This is Cuervo in his man cave. Available light. Light coming through the door of his man cave. Nikon up the ISO, available light. That's his man cave. This is Burl. Burl is a slabber. And her quote I'm trying to get to is incredible, because she talks about how Slab City is just a wonderful place. It's a vortex of art and recycling. And She's one of the musicians in Slab City. Her real name is Brill. Papa Jimmy. Consistent in all of them. I want them to stand out. I want them to be looking at the camera, meeting eyes with yours, and I want you to just dive in. This is April at the hot springs. April is a slabber. Her quote is, "My parents don't even know I'm here." In the background is the hot springs. Clothing optional. In her hand is a joint. Smoke drifting up into the air. 1 year after this photograph, April gave birth to her first daughter. 9 months after that, she gave birth to her second daughter. And she's a slapper, mother of two. Julie Bob. No quote, but just look at that face.
Mm.
Tomahawk. Believe in the slabs or be leaving the slabs is her quote. Really, really wonderful person. That's her hat. Again, I'm dealing with natural light. The eyes are so important. I need the eyes to read. Fortunately, with film, with digital, you get a full range of contrast and light, and with Photoshop, you can also do amazing things. Chocolate Jesus. Glad to share the magic, is his quote. Have I gone 36 minutes already?
You have, Bob. You got to finish her up, Bubby.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's
Anyway,
okay.
it's all in my
Just go,
book. All in my book.
Bob. It's okay. Just go through them quickly now, because we'd like to see them, but just run through them. That's so yeah, great.
This is this is at the range. This is at the Oasis Club where they have acoustic music once a week,
Yeah, and
lit
Bob,
by firelight.
these people who come for weekends or a couple of months, do they integrate right away with the slabbers, or there's still like a little bit of, or there's still like the natural separation?
That depends. It depends on who you are, your presence.
Okay.
You know, you come out, you talk to people, they talk with you. You don't, they don't. This is prom night. One night a year, the last Saturday in March, everybody's welcome to get dressed up to the nines. I was the official photographer for 3 years. Flash camera, flash. I never used flashes, but this was the only way to get the photographs. This is Art Garden East Jesus, the entryway. That's Aaron. This is Cinnabar Charm, the originator's Charlie Russell, who passed away. That was his first vehicle, and that is the first piece of art in Art Garden. El Brino, Walter the Buried Bus, and Muffin Tin.
Great.
I just wanted you to see this photograph. This is untitled, but I do have a title for it. One picture says 1,000 words. I can't get to the next picture, but it's a image of Manet's The Dead Toreador, a painting done in 1864. Incredible painted image. This to me is painterly. I took all the sharpness out of it. It's just an image that spoke to me. And my next project, I'll talk about it briefly. It's called Gallery of New American Citizens. 193 people representing every country in the United Nations. 193 people, head to toe, holding something and wearing something that reminds them of home. This is a land of immigrants. I couldn't tell this story a year ago. Sorry. Because of the situation. But now I want to tell the story of immigration. It's a big project, huge. I'm inspired by Small Trades by Irving Penn and People of the 20th Century by August Sander. It's going to be my own style, but Ligia Goria from the LAX, Los Angeles Arts Cultural Commission, said she wants to see a proposal for LAX in 2022. Imagine moving on a conveyor belt, 8-foot tall images on the walls. You're going by people, one at a time.
Great. Well, Bob,
It's going to be a book too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And listen, Frank, how much did I have to pay you to get up first?
a lot, Bob, an awful lot. But you know what you have to do? You have to thank Swanee and you have to thank Louisa Curtis for being, you know, a major force behind pushing you to continue this project. They really are heroes here as well for seeing the vision, pushing you, and you know you on top of that cake. To see that through, that's a long run. You know, 6-7 years to do that. We're all thrilled. And anyone that wants to get the book, you can go to bobzahn.com.
I'm going to do a reprint and it'll be out in the fall. This one is gone.
Yeah.
This one is gone. Swanee, you got it?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
And
Frank, you got it? I wonder why. Thank yous.
no, thank you.